So just doing a quick search today with regards to a video I uploaded. It's that same one that I put up on my main page recently about the Ottawa police and their corruption, and speaking the clear truth about them and what they're involved in. And at the top of the page here, I just did a search. So my video is down here. I'll just show you. I'll scroll down and we'll take a look at the view counts they have here. Right? So this is when you type in Ottawa Police today, just for today, 8 views. 8 views there on my secondary page, Full Spectrum Dominance. I got a few more on my main page, but not a whole lot. Still less than 100, I think. And that is absolute truth in that video there. And then if we see at the top what comes up, right at the top here, there you go, one of those auditors, right? One of those actors, those state-funded actors who stage fake interactions with the police and work with the police behind the scenes. Essentially, they're nothing more than community-based agents, and their videos with police interactions are entirely staged. And I'll go into a lot more extensive details as to why I know that in some of the upcoming videos. But it's not really worth wasting a lot of time talking about these people. But I just want to show you, just to provide ample evidence of how fake the whole system is on YouTube and how they only prop up funded shills. So I post a video speaking all that truth, complete and absolute truth about these corrupt criminals and their provable involvement in Freemasonry and all of the links to that and their activities. And that's the video there, and it's got 8 views today. This guy posts a video. Again, I think this is kind of just mockery too, because his is saying a couple of chill cops in Ottawa, and he posted it the exact same time I did too. I posted that 11 hours ago on my secondary page. So this guy, the Ontario audit guy, posts that speaking, well of the Ottawa cops there. Well, now let's take a look at the video. It's just him standing in front of a sidewalk there and 2 cops talking. So for that, he uploaded that at the same time I did 11 hours ago. That video there has 3,000 views just to have him standing there talking to a couple cops for less, like a minute 20, okay? Look at. And he's posting that to make it seem like they're good people and they're wonderful and they're professional people.
That's exactly it. Just 2 gentlemen out enjoying this crappy day, taking some public photography, man. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So that short, 1 minute plus clip got 3,000 views, okay? And of course, he's speaking positively of these corrupt drug trafficking criminals as he stages a fake interaction with them. Because all of these frauditors, all of their interactions with the police are staged, and many of the auditors themselves are Masons who attend some of the same lodges as the police who they stage fake interactions with. So that's his video there, of him just making small talk with a couple Ottawa cops as they stage a fake interaction. That gets on YouTube 3,000 views, okay? For nothing of any value. My video here, the same one that I uploaded on the other channel, 8 views, and it's completely shadow banned because it's the truth. And you won't get any truth from those state-funded actors about any of this stuff. They'll give you this BS line about, oh no, there's a few good cops here. They're all corrupt. They're all in on staging fake events. Most of them are Freemasons. They won't tell you anything about that. They won't tell you about the clear and obvious provable connections to the police and drug trafficking, because the Canadian auditor operation is nothing more than a funded psychological operation, and they work with intelligence agencies, possibly even directly with CSIS, to stage these fake videos. You're not going to get any real truth from those people. They're just funded actors. But I'm going to do some more stuff on them at some point. It's really not worth wasting a lot of time on. But you could tell he kind of just put that up, or his handler, whoever, kind of put that up to mock me, because my video, which actually speaks real truth here, gets 8 views today. And the other one, like I said, it's still at less than 100, the same one that I shared on Controlling the Narrative. And we go up here and we see this clown standing there talking to 2 cops for a minute, and that gets 3,000 views. So you be the judge as to whether that's fake or legitimate. And if you look in his comment section, it's all just nonsense comments from people who have a lot of Masonic symbolism in their names. So they set these frauds up with fake audiences. A lot of people are fake audiences. Some people get conned into believing that they're actually real and that they actually are about freedom, but really they're working with the communitarian system and with these cops. And what it's going to culminate in at some point, because there's connections between these frauditors and the mainstream media, as evidenced by that video a while back with that Mad Lab Press guy, which got all this media attention. Now, no one who's real, who exposes police corruption, will get any real attention from the controlled state-run media unless they're a part of the system. So yeah, Mad Lab Press, more like Mossad Lab Press, when you look at his connections to Rebel News. But we'll do some more on these frauds at some point in the future. That's what happens with real people who expose police corruption, and with shills who just get propped up to recite scripts and stage fake interactions with the cops, with their fellow Masons and the cops. So anyone who's real, who exposes police corruption, it's just common sense if you know how closely intertwined the cops are with the intelligence agencies like CSIS. If you had any type of real movement like that, they would quickly infiltrate it and bring it down from within. Yet these people expect you to believe that you've got all these thousands of people who follow them and that's legitimate. But we see no legitimate changes in the police corruption. So if you had that many people who were legitimately against that and it was a real movement, you'd see some type of real change, because that's too much pushback for them to just go on doing those things if there were that many people who were really against it. It's fake opposition in reality. And most of these people work for the communitarian system, and they're using methods of deceit in a sophisticated manner, and that's what they do with these operations online. And as you can see, he uploaded this at the same time I did, so 11 hours ago. They know, obviously, the people who are monitoring what I'm watching online with CSIS, because they monitor everything I do online. They know that I was watching this guy's videos yesterday, a couple of them, just during some downtime. So, of course, as soon as I upload that, they have the same guy upload something with the Ottawa cops in it and saying the opposite. Saying a couple of chill cops. I mean, it's just staged. You can tell it's staged. All of their interactions with the police are staged. And don't be fooled by the fact that some of these clowns can come up with documentation to show you that they filed complaints. Yeah, they did. Big deal. I mean, you can come up with all kinds of fake documents if you're a part of an operation with an intelligence agency to deceive people. And that's what these people are a part of. And it's going to culminate, this psychological operation, in these people working together with the police to stage some interaction that I believe will be used, because there's coordination between these people, the frauditors, the police, and the mainstream media, indicating that it's all part of the Canadian communitarian system, because that's how that system operates. There's an interconnectedness between community-based agents, the media, and the police. So what it'll culminate in is them staging some fake interaction with them where one of them does something really stupid, and it'll be used as justification to shut down anyone's ability to film these criminal stalking cops. Again, these people don't support anyone who's real, who's getting targeted and harassed by the cops. They only interact within circles of people who are approved. In other words, Masons, because Masons only interact with other Masons or within families, of Masons. They all interact together, and it's enormous in Canada. So that's what they have, entire neighborhoods set up like that. That's why they can set people up so quickly to stalk and harass someone who they've unjustifiably put on a watch list. So this is what this is. It's a psychological operation. If you look at their comments, you can see the same trivial crap in their comment sections. It's a lot of Masons propping this operation up. They don't tell you any real truth. None of the Canadian auditors will ever even mention the fact that all these corrupt cops are Freemasons, for obvious reasons. And none of them will expose anything to do with the police and drug trafficking, unless it's a story that they just found on the controlled media. And if you see the auditor operation and you search for their videos, you can see them doing the exact same things in like 5 different countries, speaking the same way, repeating the same controlled newspeak language that they're told to say. Look, a Karen, a Darren, he went hands-on. Do you think people would all just randomly start speaking in the exact same Orwellian newspeak language if they weren't told to do it and it wasn't like a staged operation? No, obviously not. So again, these guys are frauds, and they hate people who really expose police corruption, because behind the scenes, these people, many of them are Masons, and they attend the same lodges as the corrupt police, who they stage these fake interactions with. There's an interconnectedness between the frauditors, the controlled state-run propaganda networks, Canadian state-run propaganda media, and the drug trafficking criminal Masonic police. And so, because no one real who's being harassed by the police gets any media attention. There's a complete blackout on that in the controlled Canadian media. Shills like this get huge amounts of attention because the intelligence agencies who control these platforms want you to see this, because it's part of a psychological operation. Do more on that in the future at some point. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it, but I just wanted to point that out today because that stood out to me. So my video, which actually really exposes the police and doesn't kiss their asses like this guy does because he's probably a Mason just like they are, his video of him just standing there talking to them, standing there looking at them and making trivial small talk gets 3K views. My video, which speaks real truth and exposes real corruption, gets 8 views. You decide what's legit and what's not there. So the way the Canadian communitarian system works is they knew well ahead of time that with the police acting this way, they knew that people were going to start to recognize this corruption that was going to be very noticeable. And they knew that people would have the ability to film these things and put them online. So well ahead of time, they already had their own funded agents ready. This is what they do with everything. And they send their own people online, in some cases to discredit people who would speak the truth about this, and in other cases to kind of present a narrative where they can guide it in the direction where they want to go. They know that people have the ability now, real people who aren't controlled, have the ability to upload videos of the police corruption, of the police stalking, of them harassing people, of these things that they're doing, which are becoming more and more evident. So they always have to counter that by controlling the perceptions of people who are not awake to these things. And so to do that, they always send these people, many of whom they're going to use in this are either people who are a part of the Canadian communitarian system, people who would be referred to as community-based agents, and of course they're going to use Masons, because Masons have taken their oaths and they have been promised a lot of things, provided that they go along with this deception and do portray these controlled opposition roles online. It helps them, the people who are doing these things, control the narrative. And to do that, as Albert Pike, one of the most revered Freemasons of all time, says, anytime the people need a hero, we will be there to provide him. And so what they do is they give you people who will play these fake opposition roles. And obviously they have full control of all of these social media and video sharing platforms. So they're going to give these people much, much larger viewerships. They're going to promote them. And people who really expose police corruption are going to either be censored or shadow banned. And with these people too, because it's a psychological operation, they have endless amounts of people. As you know, the people who they use in the organized harassment campaign, community-based agents who they'll use to go online and prop these people up and create sort of this group, this herd around them to kind of insulate them. Part of that is because if anyone calls them out for being frauds, they have all these groups of people, many of whom are also Masons, who will attack you, who will be there to mob you and attack you and push slander against you. And they'll say, oh no, these people are doing good things, they're exposing corruption. They're not exposing corruption at all. They're a part of the system. Many of the ones that get large platforms are Freemasons. The one guy, True North Transparency, he regularly mockingly says He's starting the video at 33. 33. He says 33 a lot in his videos, which is the most important number in Freemasonry. There's the other video where he's talking to a cop who has one of those Kabbalah registering bracelets on, which many Freemasons wear, public servants wear. He doesn't say anything about that because obviously he knew what it was and he wasn't going to question the cop about that. You can see I did a video analysis of that a while back too. And another thing too, when you do call these people out, you'll either get attacked by their fake agents, all these swarms of people who they go to set them up to try to legitimize them, who are all part of the system and who are all working towards helping form this system. But to do that, they have to set up these fake scenarios to make you think that there's real transparency and that you can actually record the police and expose their corruption. If you do that, and it's real, and you're not one of these people who are controlled, they'll have you on a watch list. They will attack all of your support systems. They will spread slander about you everywhere. These are the realities of the system. You're not at all, under any circumstances, going to have some huge group like what you see in their comment section supporting them. They will completely isolate you. And as you know, with my videos, none of these people, they'll treat you like you have leprosy if you're really exposing the truth about police corruption, because they're given a set agenda of what the controllers want put out. And so that's all you get. You can see this right here, the Mad Lab Press, who's also closely associated with Rebel News, aka Rebel Mossad News. The video he has here, as you can see, 33:33 at the time. That must be a coincidence, right? 33:33 for Freemasonry. And it's just another staged incident. What they had this guy doing a while back, about a year ago, after one of these incidents that occurred, when there was an incident when these stalking constables were claiming to know my name in the one video. I go on and I was looking at some of these videos from these auditors who I would sometimes watch. I knew they were shills, but I would look at their stuff. So the people with CSIS who are monitoring what I'm watching knew that I was looking at their material. So they had this guy, the Mad Lab Press guy, immediately, like a day or two after, he puts up this staged video with the cops where they're saying, yeah, we know your name. We know your name. So again, just mimicry, just to mock somebody who really actually exposes police corruption and to show you it's staged and they all work together. In that same video, you can see the Toronto police officer openly making numerous Masonic hand signs that are in Masonic manuals. And you would also see in that video, this guy here has a Luciferian serpent symbol, which many Masons have tattooed on one of his arms. And here you can just see they have him as like a cartoon symbol. Just showing you who he really is, right? It's just a cartoon. And they send these people, these change agents, these people who work for the communitarian system, out to assume roles so that they can control this narrative. It's not entirely about discrediting people. Some of it is that, but they know that there are going to be people who post real credible stuff. So they have to create these simulations with these people who they control. But they're going to put it out there with some truth about what occurs, but they're not going to expose the realities of how deep the corruption goes, which is what I talk about. So to do that, they use their own people, the same Masons who attend, some of them probably attending the same lodges as the cops who they pretend to expose. And the same day after that, like I said, the Mad Lab Press guy then puts out a video about a cop who knew his name. And then there's another video with that Winnipeg cop watch guy walking around, and immediately all the cops are saying they know his name, and they're saying his name just to mock and mimic what really happened to me and what I showed in that other video. So that's what it is. It's all fake. It's all theater. The vast majority of police interactions that you see on YouTube with large viewerships are staged events, and typically they're using community-based agents. In these major cities, they control huge amounts of the population, and they have huge segments of the population who are willing to deceive and lie to help push these agendas. So it's much more complex and sophisticated than a lot of people know. And so that's how they do it. But again, you can see here, 33, 33. And that's not just a coincidence, because the other auditors, a number of them, a lot of them keep saying 33, 33, which of course is the most important number in Freemasonry, the number of the lie. So I'll just show you right here, right? You can see it. There you go, 33, Freemasonry. And so that's how it's done. They create fake opposition to present a false narrative to control people's perceptions online. Do not be fooled by these people. If you see any large groups that are set up like this, and it, just like the trucker convoy, it's set up to present the illusion that you can really do these things. But in reality, if you go out and try to do what these people do, these auditors, they'll ruin your life. They'll attack you. I don't mean they will. I mean, those in the intelligence agencies and the police have the ability to do that, and they don't want you to know the type of power that these corrupt Masons have. So they don't talk about that. You're not going to get any real truth from these people. You're just going to get stuff that is put out to appeal to emotion, to manipulate people's emotions. Don't be fooled by these people, and don't be conned into giving any of them money, because behind the scenes, they're really working for these same corrupt police. How Masonry does it is they present you with a duality, and so they're controlling both sides of this. And so to do that, they also have these people, when presenting the duality, a lot of, within the Masonic lodges, there's a lot of theatrical performances they have within the rituals. So this type of theatrical thing has been literally brought into what they do here with manipulating and controlling people's perceptions, particularly on the sites that get a lot more views, like YouTube. They know they have to do that because they know they're also allowing people to have the ability to upload videos exposing police corruption. Therefore, they're going to completely control that narrative. No pun intended.